Yeah. Is being able to, again, sort of develop these yourself, learn how to design your own ads, create the right messaging, the right imagery, and then target the right individuals, the right folks that you're looking to bring these ads to and hopefully generate phone calls. If you have the incorrect targeting, then that's going to lead you down a hole that you don't want to go into. So we're gonna talk a lot about targeting today, and then really going through kind of a step-by-step process on where do you start, where do you even go to launch an ad. Many on this call have never launched their own ads, rather than just boosting a post, and that's the complete opposite of what we're trying to do today. So we're going to go into that, so if you want to kind of follow along from your own Facebook business page manager, you can do so. If you just want to use this as just collecting notes, and then you can always hit me up afterwards for any questions when you start getting into the nitty gritty yourself. You can do so, but I'll have all that laid up. And then any questions, just go ahead and parking lot, based on whatever the question is, we might have the parking lot for the end of that, where I'll take some brief Q&A. If it's something that's relevant to what we're talking about right in that specific second, then shoot a little chat message, and then I'll try and keep an eye on that too, and answer your question there. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get rolling. Now, again, I think it's more weighted to most individuals on this call have never run their own Facebook ad campaign. I'll get into boosted posts here in just a second, because I know quite a few of you have done the boosted route. But a couple things to note before you get started running your own campaign, before we even go ahead and hit step one and create our own campaign. So what we want to look at doing is, and if you haven't already done this, this really shouldn't even apply just because we're running Facebook ads and getting started online, is completing a personal brand audit. And I call this PAT. So professionalism, authority, and trust. So just going through, and especially online, there's so many sites out there. They're auto creating your own listings and things like that. But us as agents, I mean, your stuff's out there. It's everywhere online. So just going through and doing a quick audit of your brand, because when people are on Facebook and they're finding your information, they come across you. Most of the time, they're going to go elsewhere too. They're going to see you on Facebook, and they might plug you into Google. They might plug you into Yelp or places like that, and just make sure everything's consistent. And just do kind of a quick audit there. Because again, that's gonna factor into your overall conversion rate when these individuals come across your content on Facebook. So what this means is things like your mission, vision, and value statement. So if you haven't done things like that, we're not going to get into it on this call. It's irrelevant here, but just making sure you have this in place across all of your marketing and advertising. Things like your own logo, your own identifier for your business, right? So making sure you have that logo, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on your website, anywhere else online that you're advertising and you're doing marketing. Website or landing page. So again, I think over the last couple of years, even probably a bit longer than that, we're kind of weighting more towards landing pages compared to a generic website. But at least having something there that people are going to go to from your Facebook advertising. So having a landing page in place, and we're going to get into that here too. And then of course, Facebook business page, and not just having a Facebook business page set up, but actually having some content on there already. So before you guys really even get started today, or afterwards, and you're lining everything up, and if you haven't created a business Facebook page yet, once you do put that in place, I would not recommend the next day you go ahead and start running ads. You want to give this page some life, right? You want to actually, put some content on there, put some imagery on there, maybe try and reach out and get some customer or client testimonials. So give it some life, because it's not going to look good when you start pouring some money into this and people are going to your Facebook page from these ads, and it's a brand new setup page. There's no information there at all. So before you even get into any of that, make sure you start adding some content to that business page. Most of us already have that in place, but for those who have never set up a business page, just keep that in the back of your mind there. And then the all important contact info. I can't tell you, this has happened many times where there are individuals out there that totally forget to input their contact information in their business page. So make sure that you fill that area out before you start running these ads. A couple quick notes to share on when it comes to Facebook and fair housing. I get a lot of these questions, and this is what happened probably, I don't know, I'd say maybe 5 years ago or so. Facebook got slapped pretty hard with a lot of the targeting options that were available within Facebook itself as agents that we were able to use. There were, some who have advertised before saw options such as individuals even more likely to move, so things like that. You could target based on income and so forth. So a lot of that has been derailed. You can't use those anymore. So just a few things to update when fair housing came in. So you can no longer target. There's no demographic targeting on gender, age, or people's income anymore. There have been some housing and financial interests removed. You cannot target less than 15 miles. So you used to be able to just kind of drop a pin right on and target less than that. But now if you have a specific farm area, for instance, you can only target outside of the 15 miles. So you drop a pin in the center, which again, we'll dive into here in just shortly, show you guys how to do that. But there's no targeting within a 15-mile radius anymore. So they've broadened that. You can no longer target just by zip codes. So Matt, I want to target 23464. You can't just plug that in, target by zip code. So that's been removed for real estate mortgage as well. Now, these, I say all this, what I've actually seen is they've really had minimal impact on the results. Over the last few years, and a lot of that again is just because of the targeting opportunity that you still have, creating audiences and being able to again get your messaging right. If you can develop a great creative, an image, write the correct message, and then target that message to exactly who is relevant to that message, then you got a great opportunity to produce business. And that's really as simple as it gets. Just making sure you have something that stands out when somebody's scrolling through their newsfeed or on Facebook, the right message that stops them from scrolling, that they can read, and it relates to who they are. And that's the power of Facebook. They know who these individuals are, and that's how we can capture them through the back-end ad center, which we'll get into. Real quick, the 3 legs of Facebook ad success. Well, we just talked about targeting. It's the most essential component, no doubt about it. Being able to, what great form of marketing is that? Somebody who's surfing on Zillow, somebody who's surfing on Realtor.com, that we can actually hop on and target an ad directly to those individuals. You guys know the amount of money that Zillow and all those other sites pour into their digital marketing. So you can just feed off of that success that they're having. So the individuals going to Zillow, going to Realtor, and being able to target those exact same individuals, that's extreme. That's highly advantageous for you as marketers. The second thing, your ad, right? What type of ad are you going to run? Are you going to run an image ad? Are you going to run a video ad, a lead ad, carousel ads where you kind of swipe through a couple different pictures? We've all seen these types of ads online. And then the third one is going to be your campaign objective. All right, so Facebook has a ton of these different objectives. Again, if some of you have tried to do this in the past, you'll get to the ad center and you'll see a ton of different options. What we're going to focus on today, we don't have time to go through every single one, but the most important one for you guys, of course, is going to be lead generation. We're not going to talk about getting likes. Matt, I want to get 1,000 likes to my Facebook page by the week's end. Now that doesn't do anything. shares, comments, any of that. No, we want leads. We want to produce leads. And so that's what we're going to focus in on today. So I talked about it a few minutes ago with boosting, right? And I see this time and time again, and I'm not to say, I think there is some benefit to it when you're boosting ads. So let's say you have a open house that you're doing and you created a post for it, and there's just that really easy opportunity to click the boosted post option. And so what that does, for those who aren't familiar, is it's going to boost your post out to a higher level of audience, or a higher number of people. Now, that's not going to say that those individuals are relevant to what you're trying to do here, what you're trying to achieve, and that's to get people to your open house, or to see it. So what that is, it falls into what's called reach, and it's just building awareness. We're not going to get into any awareness here today. Awareness, again, that requires a lot of money. Your branding, right? And that's not always lead generation. You're trying to get the word out about you as an agent, the services that you provide, but it's not going to necessarily be people within that layer that are looking to buy or sell right this second. So boosting, what I find, it really costs, it takes a lot of your money. It really does. If you're in this for lead generation purposes, I would go ahead, recommend stop boosting now. So what it's built on is what's called, Facebook calls the engagement objective, and that's likes, shares, and comments. So all they're trying to do is, when they boost your post, they're looking for individuals out there that are more likely to like a post, share a post, or comment. Okay, these are engagement metrics. All right, doesn't mean that they're necessarily ones that are surfing on Zillow, or ones that are interested in mortgage information, or things like that. Relevant, these are the individuals we want to see. So again, kind of refrain from that. Likes, shares, comments, that's not going to put money in your bank, right? We're in this to develop leads, quality leads. All right, so ad targeting. Again, I said this, you show your ads to the wrong audience, it doesn't matter what else you do. So it's really important that we look at how we're targeting first. And we're kind of going through an overview here first before we actually dive in to how we do this in the back end ad center. But I want you guys to understand this information up front before we do that. So with Facebook's ad platform, again, you can be precise and targeted. So again, what we're doing, we're getting these ads in front of the exact individuals we want to get in front of. These produce a higher chance of producing quality leads. Facebook does have an algorithm that's working behind in what's called, we call this the learning phase. And so they're trying to help your ad succeed. When you initially launch a Facebook ad, it doesn't go directly into publication. It enters a couple, it goes through review, Facebook reviews your ad, and then what's going to happen is it's going to go into a learning phase. And what learning phase is doing is it's trying to work with your ad on really optimizing it for performance, and making sure that it's going to be efficient enough once it goes out there and it is publicized. So the different buckets of ad targeting that Facebook offers, and again, some of you all are already pretty aware of this, is interest. That's going to be the biggest one for us as agents. So what are people interested in? These are going to be pages people have liked, pages people have visited, or even closely related topics. So people that are familiar with Zillow or been on Zillow, Realtor.com, maybe they're researching mortgage information. Okay, a lot of other interests we'll get into here, I think, in the next slide or two that you guys can check out. Behaviors, these have been removed for real estate and mortgage, so there's nothing we can do anymore with behavior targeting. And then with demographics, because Facebook falls into what's called a special category, you cannot target anymore with age, income, education, or gender. So when you go in, again, we'll see this here, but when you go in and create an ad, you're going to have to check the box for Facebook that requires it to be disclosed as a special category. And by checking that box, takes away the demographic targeting. If you try and get around and don't check the box and keep going through, all they're going to do is review your ad, see that it's real estate related, and come back and deny its publication anyways. So you just check the special category box because it does fall within that. But these are the three different targeting buckets. The one we're going to concentrate on is interest targeting. Question I get asked a lot: how much do these leads cost? Matt, what should I budget for on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? Right? That's a loaded question. There's a lot of things to consider here when it comes to a Facebook ad budget. I mean, you can put in as little as $1 a day. You can put in $1,000 a day. It just, there's no limit. Now, we're upward limit in this case. Now, is $1 a day going to get you much? Probably not, right? A lot of it is going to depend on your campaign goals and objectives, really with determining that. And again, you have to, but the beauty is that that's up to you, right? I mean, this is not something you have to lock into on a monthly basis, right? You can just effectively put out maybe $500 or $1,000 or $200 or whatever you're comfortable spending, and just set that aside for the month. I would refrain from looking at this on a weekly basis, meaning, all right, Matt, I put in $500 this week to see how it goes. Nothing came out of it. Because like I talked about earlier about Facebook's learning phase, you can't give up too quick with this. It is going to take some time to kind of stretch your wings with running Facebook ads and actually getting conversions. So don't look at this as a weekly type campaign. You got to give it some time, give it a month, 2 months, 3 months to really start seeing the benefit of this. One of the options that I've used that I've seen work pretty well in the past, if you don't kind of really know where to start or determine, is first identifying what you're willing to pay per lead. And that's what we define as our maximum cost per lead, because we're going to need to know that for Facebook when we go ahead and put in our budget in our spending settings. So a little formula that you guys can use is, what you can do is take your GCI, so your gross commission income from Facebook, so any business that you might have generated from there, and divide that by the number of Facebook leads that you've generated. So let's say that our medium sales price is $500,000. I know everybody's kind of on different commission splits here, but just let's say a standard split, you're grossing or the GCI comes in, medium sales price $500,000, $6,250 per deal. Okay, that's in your pocket. Now, average I've seen 5% conversion. Okay, with leads that you talk to into clients. That doesn't mean that you're converting 5% directly into sales. All right, these are just 5% conversion leads you get on the phone, you talk to, you qualify. All right, you talk them into clients. So 5% conversion, but out of those 5%, you close 40% of them. All right, so just for an example, we generate 100 cold leads through Facebook. 5% we convert, okay, brings us 5 clients. But within that, out of those 5 clients that we're working with, 2 of them close. Okay, these are pretty relevant numbers that I see in the industry when it comes to Facebook advertising. All right, so that's going to give you $12,500 GCI collected from Facebook. And all we have to do is kind of look at, again, if we're, in this case, if we made $12,500, if we spend $125 per lead, then we're just breaking even. $100 per lead, then we're profiting $2,500. If we spend $50 per lead as our maximum cost per lead, then we're profiting $7,500 in this case. So again, just a quick little algorithm you guys can use, because we are going to need to know what your maximum cost per lead is, when we start running these ads, they're going to ask you what is the maximum you're willing to spend for leads to come in. All right, so campaign. The first thing that we're going to do and get set up is our campaign. Now, some of you have already done this before. You'll notice ads already in your ad center. But for those who haven't, if you navigate to your business Facebook page, then you're going to see an option for Ad Center there on the left-hand side. All right, and you can click through that now, and that's going to take us to the Ad Center where we'll start. Now, Facebook's set up. There's a structure here, hierarchy, where the campaign is first. Underneath the campaign is what we call ad sets. All right, so in an example, an ad set, you guys might have a campaign, a lead gen campaign set up, but then you might have underneath that 2 different ad sets. One ad set might be offering a free first-time home buyer's guide, right? That's always one that works pretty well to capture contact information. All right. Another one might be a list of off-market properties, for example, right? So again, common goal, we're trying to generate leads, but at the same time, we have 2 different initiatives under that campaign, or 2 different types of ads that we're running. Then underneath those ad sets are going to be our actual ads. These are the visual representations. These are the advertisements people are seeing on their news feed when they're scrolling on Facebook. Okay, so again, these could be the carousel ads, the image ads, the video ads, and things like that. So when you click into Ad Center and you click into your campaign and create that, you're going to see a couple different options. Now, again, we don't have time. We're not going to be able to get into all of this. We're sticking to lead generation today. So you're going to see an option for awareness, consideration, and conversion. Those are the 3 types of objectives that Facebook allows or offers to you. Awareness, we don't want to get into that. We're not doing branding or anything such as that. Consideration, traffic. Some of you all might consider traffic just trying to get clicks to your website or clicks through to your ad. Again, Facebook's going to weigh and show those ads to their clickiest type of folks out there, right? Do we really want to always have our ad seen in front of the clickiest type of folks? People just out there clicking? Probably not. Again, that's not relevant to what we're trying to achieve. We want to produce business leads, right? So again, we're sticking to lead generation in this case. When you set lead generation and you click continue, you're going to get a couple options. So under special ad categories, you're going to have to click on housing. We just talked about that, and that was again due to fair housing. So it does fall into a special ad category. You can also set up A/B testing on this page and optimize your budget. So optimizing your budget is going to spread your spend across multiple ad sets. So what that means is, let's say you just, Matt, I want to put in $100 for the next couple weeks, see what it does. Well, if you have multiple ad sets, it's going to distribute evenly that $100 to that first-time home buyer's guide and to that ad that's running the off-market properties. It's not just going to go, say, $80 to one and $20 to the other. Okay, so it's gonna try and help optimize those ad sets. From there, you're going to set up your ad budget. All right, you're going to have a couple more settings that you have to configure. As you go through kind of step by step here, your contact method is going to come up. Now, there's a couple options or a few options here with how, and this is how your leads are going to contact you. Once they click through on your ad, what's going to be the form or the process for them engaging with you or contacting you? Instant forms. That's what we're gonna talk about today. So what's going to happen is your leads are going to fill out a form with their information, and that form is going to go directly to you. There's an automated chat option. This is where they click on your ad and it'll pop up a Facebook Messenger option. They can just chat directly with you. Some have already done this. So they'll just chat directly through to your business page. and you'll get a chat. If you guys have Facebook mobile, you'll get or a Facebook Messenger on your phone. It'll pop up that way. And then calls. Your leads will call you directly, right? Some are, oh, Matt, why wouldn't I just do the call option? Not everybody wants to speak with you right away, right? So if that's their only option is to call you, they might refrain from taking the next step. So I think kind of a less invasive way to go is instant forms or automated chat to start and kind of see how that performs for you. But again, in this case, we're going to work with instant forms. So once you select your contact method, under page, you're gonna, where you click page, it's gonna say what business page are you using to run these ads. You're gonna select your Facebook business page and then accept Facebook's terms. And then you can turn on dynamic creative, which is gonna be another setting in there. And make sure you have this in place because this is gonna let Facebook optimize the elements of your ad to hopefully get more leads in this case. So again, setting your budget, how Facebook does this, it's based on a bidding system. All right, so we're all bidding on how much we're willing to spend to reach a specific audience. Again, this we talked about a few slides ago, setting our maximum cost per lead. What are we willing to spend to produce these leads? All right, the great thing about this, Facebook makes this automatic. Right, so you don't have to worry about going in every couple hours and seeing where you're at. It's just an automatic bidding system based on your maximum daily bid. All right, they're going to determine when and how much to bid for your placements, okay, for yourself. So you don't have to worry about doing this, again, manually. You can set your daily budget differently for each campaign or each ad set within each campaign. So again, if you want to, you have $500 set aside for the month and you want to put more into your open house ads or your home evaluation ad or something like that. You can put more budget out of that 500 towards that specific ad set. So you can actually go in and customize that, or you can just leave it pretty much the same and evenly distributed all over. Now, when you do come across a reasonable price per lead, don't go in and try adjusting your budget. All right, so just make sure that that stays consistent once you found that warm and cozy spot as for your price per lead. So you're going to choose a daily budget, and then you're going to select your start and end date for your ad. Okay, so again, $500 you're putting in. I want to run this from January 15th to February 15th, and $500. That's gonna go into that within that 4-week time frame. All right, it's going to be nothing more, nothing less. They're going to optimize that based around those elements or that criteria. Got a question during the Zoom? Yes, I will send this out as well. A couple other things before we go into launching. So our audience, okay, so location. Again, we talked about this earlier. We cannot target by the zip code anymore. So what we have to do is, if you have a specific farm area or the area around town that you're looking to target, I would recommend going within, dropping the pin in the center when you get to your location settings, dropping the pin in the center of that market area, okay? And then that's gonna cover all 15 miles within radius. Okay, so again, you can't just go in there and start plugging in different zip codes. Other business verticals you're advertising for, yes, you can do this, but for real estate, of course, we can't. So again, drop a pin somewhere near the geographic center of your farm area in that case. And then you have that 15 miles. And of course you can branch out from there, but you can't go tighter than 15 miles. And then language is another one for anyone who's bilingual. Something probably worth exploring is to add in other common languages that you speak, that you can service to. So demographics and interests. Now, again, Facebook used to allow us to target by income, zip code, gender, marital status, all that stuff, right? We can't do that anymore. Likely to move option. I mean, that was incredible, right? That we could just target ads to somebody who was likely to move. So unfortunately, we can't do that anymore. So we got to refine stuff. And there are a few different interests that I found to be worth looking at. These have produced great results I've seen. So again, you can target any one of these interests. This could indicate a list of these that I'll show here in a second, might indicate somebody's likely to make a move soon. So yes, we don't have that specific interest filter anymore, but we can kind of build around and develop, just get creative, develop our own. So again, these are all options that we can add into our targeting interests. So when we're in the targeting field, Zillow, Trulia, okay, real estate investing is one. These are all ones that you guys can actually type in, and these are available by Facebook. First time buyer, for sale by owner, holiday cottage, home equity loan, refinancing their house, house hunting, housing.com, land and houses, luxury real estate, first time home buyer grant. All right, so these are just a few different audience interests, okay, that you can add into your ad when you go to target. These are all made available by Facebook. Mortgage loans. And Property Finder. Some other creative interests that you can use that might indicate somebody's likely to make a significant life change. All right, so maybe find interest in infant supplies and toys. Okay, that's another feature available or filter available. Home loans, bridal registries, and then relocation. Okay, so again, these are all interests. Facebook knows about these individuals, these users. All right, and this can really blend in well with how you're choosing about targeting. Just keep in mind when you're building these out, the more interests you choose, the smaller your audience will be. Okay, because again, you're drilling down even further. All right, so you're starting maybe with 5 million people, and every single filter you apply, it just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So just keep that in mind. It's great to get very niche and specific, but we don't want to limit our ads as well. And then you have connections. So under connections, you can actually also show these ads to people who have already engaged with maybe your Facebook business page. Maybe they've responded to an event in the past. Maybe you hosted an open house or first time home buyer seminar, or maybe they visited your website. We're not going to get into the Facebook pixel today, but that's a great way to continue to retarget individuals. So somebody who goes to abcrealty.com and then they go to Facebook, all right, you can retarget those individuals. All right, you can retarget them because now they know, or Facebook has that identifier. They've been to your website properties. Now they're on Facebook. You can serve those ads to those individuals. All right, so we got our targeting in place. We talked about the interests that we want to use to run these ads. Now we have to place these ads. Where are these going to be placed? So you have automatic placements, which is what I advise for you guys to start with, and then there's manual placements. All right, so in this case, we're going to go ahead and opt for automatic placements. Within also, this is going to display ads within Facebook's audience network. It is going to go on Instagram as well. For those, most of you all know, Instagram is owned. by them, and so that'll go throughout their network as well. Things such as Facebook Messenger, in content material, but that's where we're going to start and make it easier for you, automatic placements. Now, lead forms. This is what we talked about prior. Again, this is how they're going to contact you, and what they're going to fill out, what type of information is going to come into you through that inquiry. All right, so you're going to need to create lead forms. Now, this is super easy. Facebook makes this very easy. These are all within the Ad Center interface. So again, once we reach this step, we scroll down to Instant Form, and we're going to click on Create a Form. All right, so you can choose which image your lead sees along with your headshot if you want. That's what I recommend. So you see a little example over there to the right. And then you can also determine which questions they have to answer before submitting that form. So I see many go back and forth on this. Some, they just want to get the contact information, lightly vetted lead. They don't even want to interfere with any questions, and the lead just comes in, they click on the ad, boom. Some, they want to do some initial vetting and put some questions in there. Okay, like in this case, in this example, they put in, when do you need to move? Okay, yesterday, 3 to 6 months from now, just looking. I think asking a question, maybe two, is ideal. I would at least put 1 vetting or 2 vetting questions in there. I would refrain from going too overboard with the question asking, though. This has led to reduced inquiries. If somebody clicks through and they see 6, 7, 8 questions they got to answer, they're probably not going to submit it. All right, and it's already cost you some money. So I would go ahead, maybe think of 1 if possible. Stick to 1 question that you can include there, maybe 2, and then have them submit that form. Now, you can also have an option for them to set up an appointment or anything like that. So again, there's a couple options there. You can skip this step if you already have a website with landing pages and lead capture in place. Again, what's happening here is they're submitting the form and it's going directly to you within Facebook. So this relies on no other online properties. You can do this, really, I wouldn't advise it, but not necessarily having a website in place, right? This is all relying on your Facebook business page, and then it's going through to you directly within the Facebook interface. So again, we set a daily budget for our ad spend based on the cost per lead we calculated previously. If we go ahead and start at the high end of our budget, Facebook's going to optimize our ads more quickly. So we're going to start getting leads in faster, right? So again, something to consider. Also, the more ad placements you have, the higher likelihood that somebody's going to click on your ads. So when we launch these, we're going to enter what's called the learning phase. And this is what I talked about earlier. And this is where I think sometimes agents get, well, Matt, nothing's happening, or you know, I'm not producing any leads. It's been a couple days. Well, Facebook goes into, again, this sort of procedure for them to, they want to deliver effective ads for you, right? They have a lot to learn about the ad sets that you put together. So during the learning phase, the delivery system is exploring the best way to deliver your ad set. So it's actively trying different audiences, placements, and more. So performance has not yet stabilized. The learning phase occurs when you create a new ad set or make a significant edit to an existing ad or ad set. All right, so you have to be careful when you, let's say, even if you exit out of the learning phase and then you go back in and make a quick little edit to the content, or maybe, oh, I want to try this picture instead of the picture I tried before, just know that Facebook's going to re-enter the learning phase. And sometimes that learning phase can last, I think it's maybe 15 optimization events or 50 optimization events, meaning 50 conversions have to happen before it exits out of that learning phase. Okay, so again, it's taking some time to get used to your ad set. All right, so again, right here, these campaigns are going to be least effective and results are likely to fluctuate significantly. But again, it's best to resist the temptation to tinker with any of your ads until this phase has been completed. All right, so I want to bring that up because that is important to know when we go ahead and launch these. If you decided on a traffic ad, you want to set the optimization to landing page views as your goal is to drive traffic to your website. Again, in this case, we're focused on lead generation. So our goal is to get someone to enter their contact information. We want name, phone number, email, right? So again, Facebook's going to automatically adjust for leads when it comes to optimizing these ads. So once we have this campaign set up, which we've done, we've already defined our objective, which is lead generation, our targeting. We've talked about the different interests, Zillow, Trulia, things such as that, mortgages. Placement, we discussed. Placement, again, automatic placement. That's going to be where Facebook chooses to show our advertisements. And then our spending controls. We talked about our budget. How much are we willing to spend throughout a certain period of time? What's our maximum cost per lead? What are we willing to spend for a lead to come through? Okay. Now, all of that being entered, Facebook's going to then tell you your potential for daily reach and link clicks. Tongue twister there. All right. So again, we want to make sure some of you might, after doing all this, say, well, it's in the red. I don't have, Facebook's telling me it's too small of an audience to run ads. Then you're going to have to back up a bit and maybe go back and look at your targeting, open it back up, chop some off. You know, things such as that. Maybe you got to expand your spending a bit. Okay, but Facebook's going to tell you what your potential is as far as the number of clicks and how much reach you're going to obtain within that time period. Okay, so again, make sure your audience is large enough. You have an opportunity to get the number of leads you decided on previously. All right, so we got that in place. Now, what does our ad look like? Okay, there's a couple different options. Carousel ads, some of you have already seen this. I see a lot of agents do this with things like available listings. Maybe they have 5 or 6 listings that they're advertising. So a consumer can scroll down and just swipe to the left and go through on the same ad. It's just a carousel ad. Okay, so again, several images or even videos that they can scroll through. So maybe you have 4 open houses lined up for this weekend. You can include a picture or video walkthrough of each in one of your carousel ads. Okay, so again, your audience can view multiple listing photos through one ad. You have single image or video ads. This is, of course, a pretty popular one you see most often. That's just going to be a standard image, maybe a picture of a house, picture of a family, picture of somebody holding some keys. Maybe it's a video, maybe you're doing again, a walkthrough or something like that. So something that sticks out to grab their attention. And then there's collection ads. We're not going to get into that. That's mostly for e-commerce. But again, in our case, we're looking at carousel ads or single image or video ads for real estate. All right, here's a nicely designed one. What do our ads look like? Okay, so this is important, right? We want to create engaging ads, somebody that's going to interact with them. Always put yourself in your lead's shoes and ask, what's in it for me? Okay, so don't lose track of your main goal. If you're designing these ads, whether you're doing it yourself in something like Canva, maybe you went to Fiverr.com. A lot of people on Fiverr, you can outsource these ads. Tell them what type of ad design you're looking to create. There's people out there who design specifically for realtors, right? So, but in any case, don't lose track of your main goal. And that's, if I'm scrolling through Facebook and I'm in a position to maybe buy a house or sell a house, is this ad going to capture my attention? All right. You know how fast people scroll through Facebook. I mean, it's quick. I mean, they're impatient. They're just diving right through. So you need something that really stands out and catches their eye. Emojis do this. Emojis are found to improve click-through rate. I see emojis used on just about every Facebook ad nowadays. It's crazy, but they work. And then don't just use pictures of homes. Okay, I see this a lot too, even in this ad. This is a picture of a home. It's quite a nice looking home, but try other, people maybe, or something else. Okay, so again, we get caught up in that ad fatigue, right? Where we're seeing the same ad all the time. I'm sure you guys, you see this now on Facebook, and it just becomes, it's like white space. You just keep on scrolling through. It's the same ad. You need to try different things. All right, so here are some effective lead campaigns that I encourage you guys to set up. We've kind of walked through the targeting, how much to put in, our audience, our placement targeting, things like that. So how can we bring all of this together and create some pretty solid campaigns that I've seen convert? All right, so the first one is Facebook lead ads. Okay, so lead ads are a particular type of Facebook ad within the lead generation campaign objective that allow you to capture either buyer or seller leads right within Facebook. Okay, so this is a great opportunity for you to grow seller leads. Some of the benefits, there's no need for a landing page. Everything is done right within Facebook. You don't even have to worry about a CRM necessarily, even though I advise against it. I still think these should flow into one of your CRMs. But everything can be accomplished right within Facebook. These are very simple ads to set up. Ease of use, the customer can easily submit their information to you through Facebook, through a pre-fill form. We looked at that earlier. So this is great for even people on mobile devices, which most are. They can just plug their information. Again, most of that stuff is already pre-filled, and then they just submit. Okay, so you can decide if you want to ask those vetting questions prior. But again, super easy to set up. These can be downloaded straight out of Facebook or sent directly to a Google Sheet. So again, you're going to get a list of these, and you can download these as a CSV file. If you want to get a little bit more technical with it, you can even directly funnel them into your CRM. Okay, that's a couple other steps we're not going to get into, but it can be downloaded as a CSV, and then you can manually import them into your CRM. So again, great, easy to use, probably a great starter campaign for you guys if you're just starting out these Facebook lead ads. Again, get your copy right, get your imagery right. In this example, this is a carousel ad. He's got a learn more option. Okay, so we can help you sell. You click learn more. Okay, and this is the next page. So they're then added to an optional pre-qualifying question. Are you looking to buy or are you looking to sell? Okay, so again, you can ask different types of questions, but what we talked about before, keep these limited. Okay, so again, they click the learn more button. It doesn't go to a website, doesn't go anywhere offsite of Facebook. It keeps the user within Facebook. This is the exact next form that they see. Quick little qualifying question. Are you looking to sell or buy? They hit it and they click next. And then this is what they see. It's just a contact information form. Okay, so they're taken to the contact form. Facebook fills this info in automatically. The user can adjust it if they need, and then they just go right from there. Click next, and the lead is submitted. So very simple to use. Very simple to set up. Again, if you have your message right, your image right, again, ask a good qualifying question. One, I advise, maybe two. Keep it short. Great opportunity. Buying, selling a house audience targeting. All right, so again, Facebook knows these consumers from its rich behavioral data sets. They know what they're doing online and through offline data about these specific consumers. Okay, so again, these are people that have an interest in things like Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia. People that have interest in house hunting or first-time home buyer. Okay, so if you're setting up this specific targeting, again, these are the ones you want to use. And then people who have an interest in mortgage loans, mortgage interest is another one to add in. So build your campaign around these specific targeting options. Again, it's a partial list, but what Facebook's going to do, Facebook has the data. Facebook has the data. They know how often these people are coming through all these different sources of data. Again, they know, they can tell what the prospect's interest is in buying a home or maybe selling their current home. Okay, so rely on these different targeting options when you're developing these ads. So the location, again, this is what I talked about earlier. This was an example I pulled out of San Diego. Okay, so they're trying to target within 15 miles of San Diego. Again, it's the smallest geo targeting for special ad categories for real estate. So we just drop the pin right there. This is actually kind of on the outskirts, but this is the specific market, and it came back with 1.3 mil to 1.5 million. Okay, so a pretty large audience there, even within that 15-mile radius. Okay, so think about that, guys, too, because we live in Hampton Roads, or most of us do that are on this call, and we do have that bridge. All right, some of y'all don't like to go over to Newport News, Hampton. Some of you in Hampton, Newport News don't like to come over here to the south side, or maybe way up into Williamsburg, places like that. So just keep an eye, especially with that bridge, where you're placing that that pin, because again, it can get into water coverage as well. You don't want to place it in a part of Virginia Beach where it ends up hitting a bit of the Eastern Shore, right? And then you're going to get ads through there. So just keep that in mind when you're putting that into place. This one is probably my favorite one, free home evaluation ads. Again, very easy to set up, very basic imagery that you can use. This is out of Tampa. Tampa home values are up. Right now is the best time to sell. Get the max asking price. Do you know what your home is worth? Okay, I always love the question at the end. All right, and they have down there free home evaluation. They can click learn more. Okay, this one actually, what I found, so this generated less than $6 per lead by running these free home evaluation ads. Okay, so again, you can pique people's interest in these home valuations by showing them what other homes are going for. This probably isn't the best picture screen grab that I got, but what it is, it's a list of houses and it has their sold price right underneath of them. Okay, and specific areas. And then a couple others as we kind of wind down on this. Get a chat here. I will get to this question in just a second, Shelly. So other creative ad campaigns to look at, integrated marketing campaigns. This is actually probably my favorite. I talk about this a lot. What you can do is you can create a custom audience, which I'll show you here in the next slide as we round out. Of all the people who visit your website from things like direct mail, maybe you did a direct mail or postcard campaign recently, business cards, you're just out there networking and you're handing your business card out, flyers, and they're going to your website, right? So again, when I talked about it, if people are going to your website, you can trace them on Facebook. So when they're on your website and then they go back to Facebook, maybe they're trying, they're just connecting and looking at what their friends are doing and they're just scrolling through. That's a great opportunity to then have your ad come up. So if you think about it, it really extends the life of your postcard marketing or your mail campaign, because now you're kind of piggybacking off of what you already have set up with your Facebook advertising. Okay, you've already spent the money into farming and sending out the postcards. Now, why don't you leverage a little bit, kind of piggyback off of what you have already running on Facebook? So people who saw that postcard, maybe they threw it in the trash can, but then, but that might have been after they went to your website on their phone, or maybe they had your business card and they went to your website. That stuff got lost. It got shuffled in some other information on their kitchen counter, right? But they've already been there. Once they hop back on Facebook, it's a great opportunity for your ads to run in front of them and continue to extend those marketing efforts from your traditional marketing. All right. The other option is competitors. You don't always have to try and reinvent anything. See what some other people are doing in your area, that you know are already having some success with Facebook ads, okay? And check out what they're doing. See what type of ads they're running. What you can actually do, and this is nothing, this isn't stealing information. This is all publicly available. You go to an agent's business page. So you just type them in Facebook, go to their actual realtor business Facebook page. And what you can do is you click on page transparency. There's an option down in the left side, and then you click go to ad library. And when you click go to ad library, if they are running any type of paid ads, that information will appear there. Okay, you're not going to be able to see how much they're spending. You're not going to be able to see what targeting options that they have in place. But again, it's a great start if you need some help with writing copy, if you need some help with identifying what type of imagery you want to use. Again, just with individuals who are already having success. And then just to round it out, retargeting. So if you have a customer list of a decent size already, so at least 200 people, you can load that into Facebook and create a custom or a retargeting audience through a custom audience option. Okay, so this can be people like past clients, right? You just kept on a CSV sheet. People who purchased again some time ago, maybe could be good candidates for selling or even buying a second home. So again, something to keep in mind, putting your database in there, so those ads are going to retarget to those same individuals. Okay, again, great way to continue to stay top of mind. And then lookalike audiences. So finding people with very similar Facebook profiles to those in your past customer list. So they're going to look at your past customer list, and they're going to look at other individuals that are connected with them by other relevant or related interests. Okay, so another way to kind of expand your sphere and get in front of folks that you have no relationship with. And then just a quick little ad to kind of get around some of the limitations with things like income. You know, you can't, again, you can't segment anymore based on that, but you can choose, there are some options as far as maybe who you want to target. You know, maybe there's an interest in a specific occupation or line of work. And if you can kind of, you know, figure out sort of what average pay and things like that, there are some workarounds to it. But again, I wouldn't get started there. Kind of start with the option or the available options that Facebook allows, and then get your feet wet from that point. All right, so that that's going to wrap us up. I wanted to times that we're right on about an hour, but I do of course want to stay on here for some Q&A. There's a lot of stuff here. I realize it is, and you know, you can try and dumb down Facebook advertising as much as you can, make it really 1, 2, 3, step by step. But I don't always. Sometimes with that, you're just going to waste more money and waste your own time. You know, you can do things again like the boosted posts, but it's not going to get you really what you want to get unless you're out there just trying to brand yourself and create awareness. So it's very hard to really dumb it down. But I hope this kind of gives you at least some starting points and really a step-by-step guide on where you go in the ad center to get started, the different parameters that you have available through targeting, how you can set your bids, you know, maximum cost per lead, location targeting, things like that. But I do have a list of some pretty high converting Facebook ads. And again, any questions related to the content on this slide or this presentation, even if you want to look at some of what these Facebook ads, what they look like, imagery, things like that, shoot me an email, matt@sellwithswell.com, and I can get those over to you. But I want to go ahead and use this time for any questions. You feel free to put this in the chat. Or go ahead if you even want to take yourself on mic. I do have one question here. Let's see. So I don't want to assume edit audience, the 15-mile location radius. Is this a straight line distance? Maybe called as flying or air distance between the pin and 15 miles out in every direction. or is this calculating actual travel distance? So this is a great question. This is a straight line distance. Okay, so it's just a straight 15-mile line that's drawn from the center of that pin. That's how that's calculated. Anybody else have any questions? All right, well, great. Well, if you signed up, which you do, I have your email. I will send this out, and it'll just be a recording, so you have all this information to take with you. Have you found video or pictures better? So, a good question. In terms of running, whether a single image or single video ad, the best way to answer that, Shelly, is run both. Okay, I'm big in A/B testing. So if you're going to run a campaign, let's say maybe it's to produce seller ads or seller leads, excuse me, then I've really seen the conversions to be pretty even. I wouldn't just create a one image ad and run that. I would also go ahead and to the same people throw in a video ad there. So they're served with the same campaign, but different versions through the ad. Okay, so I haven't seen any data that says video does better than image or image does better than data. A lot of that too has to depend on the industry and the type of campaign. But in the case of real estate, I've really seen it being split down the middle. So I advise you when you're creating your ads to create again, in your ad level, when you're creating the ads, you're going to have a video ad and then also an image ad, and then just split the budget right down the middle. So if you're spending $100, make sure 50 is going to your image ad and 50 is going to the video ad, right? Or let Facebook determine that. Again, this is based on Facebook over time is going to say, okay, well, it looks like the video ad is performing better, so we're going to continue to actually sway more of your budget into the video ad, just because that's producing more conversions and more leads. So, so really no difference I've seen, but again, it's just important to do the A/B testing and make sure you're running both at the same time. All right, guys. Well, if we don't have any other questions, you have my email, so shoot me an email and I'll get that information over to you. Oh, we got another one here. Running the same ad with different locations to get more coverage seem beneficial. Running the same ad with different locations to get more coverage seem beneficial. Yes, yeah. Again, that all comes down to your campaign goals, objectives, things like your budget. But yes, you can certainly do one in say a 15-mile parameter radius within, say, Virginia Beach, maybe another one out in Suffolk, wherever. So you can, of course, run these. What I would do is you create one campaign, and then under campaign, when you start doing your ad sets, that's where you're going to have different ad sets based on the location. So you might have an ad set that says Virginia Beach. You're going to do all your Virginia Beach targeting within that. You'll have one that says Chesapeake. You do all your Chesapeake targeting within that. And then what you can do is then once you go to the third tier, which is where your ads are, that's where you're going to make sure your images are catered towards Virginia Beach, catered towards Chesapeake. Your dialogue or your text is going to be catered towards Chesapeake, catered towards Virginia Beach in each one. So yes, absolutely, that's certainly beneficial if you're working in more than one specific area. So I probably wouldn't say using the same ad in that case, but again, using the same campaign, just developing a specific ad for a specific marketplace. That's really what's going to help. If somebody's looking for Chesapeake or homes in Chesapeake, that's the information they want to be fed. They want to see information related to that. All right, all well. Again, any other questions? I'm going to wrap up, but just shoot me an email, matt@sellwithswell.com, and hope you got a lot out of this, and have a great 2023 if I don't talk to you. Take care.